Hello there, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Burnley Career Mode. And I, for one, can't wait for this particular game. It should be a good game of free-flowing attacking football. Both Burnley and Arsenal like to attack. Burnley, this is a big game because this is Arsenal at Turf Moor. Arsenal maybe 10th in the league, as I said at the end of the last video, but they are a super team and they do play football the right way. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. So we play Arsenal in the main game, and it's at Turf Moor as well, which is always good from that point of view. I'm very much looking forward to the game. But obviously the news that United lost the day before really puts the ball in our court, because we're 5-point gap now. If we beat Arsenal, the gap goes to 8 points. But Chelsea are now starting to move up slightly on the rails, but it's still looking good. Ings is still top scorer with 24, so he's looking in fine form at the moment. Muller's second with 18 from Manchester City, and Benteke now scored a few recently for Liverpool. He's now up to 14 for the season and is doing remarkably well. So let's get over to Turf Moor, where I'm waiting in the gantry to bring you patched up Burnley as they attempt to win another game in this very difficult running. Well, Burnley have made a superb start. They're missing a lot of players. Joey Barton, he's back in the 16 after injury. But this is the table now. 5 points separates Burnley and Manchester United, but Burnley have this game in hand against Arsenal this afternoon. But having said that, it will still be a tough test against Arsene Wenger's Arsenal, who are in 10th place going into this fixture. Burnley still have the meanest defence despite it being patched up with no Tom Heaton in goal. They've conceded only 21 goals this season. United are the next best on 28. So let's take a check on the two teams. Starting with Burnley, of course, it's the same 11 that beat Sunderland last week. It's Steer in goal, then it's Flanagan, Smith, Dan and Ibe, Redmond, Bentaleb, Hughes and Balassi, Ings and Gray up top. Joey Barton does make a substitute bench as well. What about the Arsenal side? A very strong Arsenal side, I'm sure, that Wenger's put out. They want to improve on 10th place. Here it is. Szczesny in goal. Jenkinson, O'Connor, Skaratis, Gibbs, Wilshere, Ramsey, Mukhtar, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Welbeck and Alexis Sanchez. Danny Welbeck is the actual main striker. Petr Cech is actually amongst the substitutes. And so too is Olivier Giroud. One or two surprises in that Arsenal team, I will confess, but still, when you've got this fella there, you've got every chance. Referee today, Bobby Madley, and we're all set to go. A Burnley win would take them 8 points away from Manchester United with 6 league games to go. Next weekend they play Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final, and then I've got a tricky trip to the Hawthorns for their next Premier League game against relegation threatened West Brom. Burnley attacking from right to left in claret and blue. Arsenal in the gold and blue shirts with the blue shorts. Early ball forward to Danny Welbeck. Ex-Manchester United, of course, looking to do his old club a bit of a favour. Lovely chip out to the far side. And Chamberlain shoots and almost gets Arsenal off to a flyer here. Now it's Oxlade-Chamberlain volleys it, but volleys it well wide as it turned out. And he had a lot more time than he thought there. Tommy Smith. Oh, that's very, very slack different play. And Welbeck is getting behind that Burnley defence, and a little chip back in there. Steer might have got something on it. It's kicked off the line, but it's not away yet. And Steer holds on this time. Well, horrible moment there for goalkeeper Jed Steer. Almost conceding his first goal in Burnley colours. But here's Redmond at the other end now. Chance really to test the Arsenal defence, and Szczesny, good punch away. Sunderland 1, Southampton 0 as well. At St Mary's, and here's An opportunity here for Wilshere. Good running by Wilshere. Good midfield that Arsenal have got here. And a little chip back, and that's a good punch from Jed Steer. That will do his confidence a power of good. If the clean sheet didn't fortify his confidence before the game, well, that early touch of the ball certainly did. It's a baptism of fire going into a big run-in. Certainly when your main goalkeeper and Burnley captain is out of the fray. For an injury that was picked up on England duty. Now Ings. Gray. Balassi. Bentaleb. We'll try it. Well, the former Tottenham man close to scoring against his old club. That's the big one next weekend at Wembley. We'll be there. Man City Burnley in the FA Cup semi-final in association, of course, with Emirates. But, you know, I hate sponsors sponsoring that great cup competition. It just should be known as the FA Cup. Nothing more, nothing less. Here's Mukhtar for Arsenal. In the Barclays Premier League, here's Welbeck. Halfway through the first half. Redmond gets the cross in. Smith with a header back. And again, that'll give Jed Steer's confidence a boost. I put the commentator's curse on him a little bit there. Oh, it's in, gone in, an own goal. Oh, no. But the flag has gone up and it's spared Burnley a lot of blushes. Oh, dear me. It was an offside flag against Alexis Sanchez that has saved Burnley real embarrassment. And Jed Steer by the look of it too. He takes the free kick and it's gone straight over to Redmond. Real let off there for Burnley, but the flag was up for offside. Good decision by the linesman. But here's Ramsey though. Dan. Oh, giving away to Chamberlain. Arsenal making it very tough work here for Burnley at the moment. Mukhtar. They don't look like a team in 10th place. Oh, and Wilshere should have scored. Wilshere should have scored. Oh, you would have staked your family fortune. You'd have staked your house on him there. And he fluffed the lights. Burnley really getting the rub of the green at the moment. Here's Redmond. I say rub of the green. They're certainly getting it defensively here. Here's Redmond now. Good ball in, snatchy. Good punch away. Good decisive punch there by the Polish goalkeeper. And he's got to be doing something good to keep the likes of Petr Cech out of the scene. But here's Wilshere now on the ball for Arsenal. Good play down to Chamberlain. Now Wilshere. Plenty of clarets back, but Wilshere will run at them and run at them and run at them. That's good ball. That's a good forward play. And Dan gets across and gets very, very well. That was great defending by the former Crystal Palace and Birmingham centre-half. Here's Mukhtar. Ball back to Kieran Gibbs. Will he try one with the left foot? It's Kieran Gibbs, played it back, and what a good challenge by Tommy Smith, because Mukhtar looked as if he was going to make it 1-0 here. And Tommy Smith, the ex-Ipswich Town man, got his body in the way, and that was brave defending. Burnley have spent most of the first half on the back foot, there's no doubt about it. Jed Steer has had plenty to do than he did at Sunderland last week. Corner taken short to Wilshere. And Wilshere goes to the byline. And the ball cross and well held, Jed Steer. And the former Aston Villa youngster gets the ball away, but now it's coming back at Burnley again with Kieran Gibbs. The champions-elect here in a bit of trouble. Gibbs has been fouled by Hughes. Now referee will probably give the free kick here and a yellow card, which hasn't gone down too well with a lot of Burnley supporters. I felt the ball was there to be won. I think he's a bit unlucky to get the yellow card, if I'm being totally honest. Gibbs saying it should be more than a yellow card. I'm not sure whether that could be construed as a red card offence, if I'm being honest, but Bobby Burnley has taken the opinion that it is a yellow card offence, although on closer inspection it does look a very harsh decision. But Alexis Sanchez has the free kick, a good 35 yards away from goal. And it is going to be Alexis Sanchez, too high. And there is the half-time whistle to end the half that Arsenal have had a lot of the play. I've missed good chances. Burnley haven't really created too much, but we're spared the embarrassment of a disallowed own goal. Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. Welcome back to Turf Moor, where it's 0-0. Arsenal should really be in front at the moment, but Will Hughes, who's carrying the yellow card, has been taken off by John Stutty for precautionary measures. And Joey Barton makes his long-awaited return after quite a number of weeks and months out for injury. And it's good to see him back on a football field. And he'll give that Burnley side a little bit more of a leadership and a little bit more bite in midfield. Here he is on the ball immediately, trying to play it into his new captain at the moment, Danny Ings. But Jack Wilshere has it for Arsenal. A little chip in there towards Ramsey. Now Jenkinson, near side. Chamberlain. Arsenal have done all the running so far in this game, but still no goals. Good dummy there from to Wilshere. Mukhtar now gets the shot in, and the man he initially dummied for Wilshere to get an opportunity. Got the chance himself. Well, you can understand why Stutzy's taking him off there. He's had 4 yellow cards this season and a red card, which he should never have had at Manchester City. Well, I think Gibbs made a lot more than a meal of it than it needed to be, really. Oh, that's poor. Mukhtar gets the ball instead. Chamberlain. Chip in there, Steele with a decisive punch, but it's not very far. Still dangerous times this for Burnley. O'Connor for Arsenal. Mukhtar in his other space, and that ombudsman Welbeck, and Steer miskicked it and got away with it. In fact, he might have just flicked it behind for a corner. Well, Arsenal now going for the kill. Mukhtar coming off, and the German, and he's to be feared. Mesut Ozil's going to come on. So it's an Arsenal corner. This time Steer stays on the line, and it was a good decision because he was able to catch it under no great pressure whatsoever. And a good throw out too to Ings. What about that for a ball to Barton? And Barton tries to steer it back to Ings, and he just couldn't succeed. He didn't get enough purchase on the pass back. And in the end, Arsenal have it now with Sanchez. Jordan Hine doing terrifically well. Gets the ball away. Balassi. Gray. Oh, what a lovely ball that is. And Ings hits it first time, but it's straight at the throat to Szczesny. 25 minutes to go, still goalless. Here's Bentaleb for Burnley. Ex-Tottenham man. That's a lovely ball playing in, but Sakaratis got back there in the nick of time. Now Barton tries to go in there and dispossess him in the Joey Barton style that we've all been accustomed to. Jed Steer now off the lines, doing almost his best impression of Manuel Neuer. And here is Ramsey now for Arsenal. Chamberlain. Could they help Manchester United in their bid for the title? Chamberlain's cross pulled back. Flanagan didn't defend that well enough, and it comes out to Ozil, and Ozil goes down, but no penalty. Bobby Madley was on the spot, he didn't give it. Welbeck with a shot over the top of the bar. Well, Ozil seemed to go down in instalments, and then as the ball came out, Danny Welbeck spires over the top. Referee was right not to give the penalty because Ozil, I think, tried to con him. Santi Cazorla comes on for Jack Wilshere. And that wasn't met with too much universal approval by 4,000 travelling Gunners fans in the David Fish weekend. Occasionally climbing just on the edge of his penalty box. Well, it's a game that Burnley, let's be honest, have been second best in. John Stutzy now going to the edge of his technical area as Wenger makes his final change. And Danny Welbeck is going to be replaced by Olivier Giroud, who's got a much better strike rate than what Danny Welbeck has probably had in his career. Sanchez. So the 3 substitutes I was talking about at the start for Arsenal, they're all on. Here's Ramsey though. Giroud is onside. Turns the ball back. Danny's there. And I'm back to Steer. And Steer just hooks it out, but he only knocks it in the path of one of the subs, Cazorla. 8 minutes to go. Burnley had a difficult defeat against at home to Manchester United. They can't afford to have another defeat here against Arsene Wenger's men, although they should be trailing in this game. Chamberlain Lovely back flick, Ozil round the corner, and then back to Steer, who just knocks it long. But again, Chamberlain now just plays it out, and it's Jenkinson now on the near side. And he goes past Jordan Iron. There's the cross. Steer has to come, and he doesn't. Oh, it's in the crossbar, and somehow it's been flagged offside. 3 minutes to go. Another let off for the Clarets. And it was nothing in it at all. Well, it could well be 6 points here if it ends a draw. Scott Dan. Gazzola well positioned. But here's Ozil. And here's Mesut Ozil, the German. That's a good ball in, but Dan across. That was good defending, but it comes to Jenkinson here. Carl Jenkinson, good run. Ramsey. It couldn't happen now in the last seconds. Ramsey! Oh, and Arsenal should have won it, and that would have broken a lot of hearts around Turf Moor then if Ramsey had struck that, but he didn't strike it with any great accuracy. Have Burnley got time now to nick a goal themselves, and right at the last knockings, Barton knocks it forward, hoping that Gray will latch onto it, and he does there. Gray's into the area. Gray now, but O'Connor does well, and that should be that. Indeed it is. Goalless draw. So not a disastrous result for Burnley. They go 6 points clear of Manchester United. It could have been 8, but really Arsenal should have won that game. But Jed Steer had a superb match, made some good saves. Burnley were second best for long periods, but a 0-0 draw was probably about right, considering how wasteful Arsenal were in the final third. Full-time score then, as both teams go off to good cheers. They tried their best to get a goal, but there was no forthcoming. But it was an entertaining game. But it finishes here. Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. Well, there we are. That's the table now at the end of 33 games each. United are 6 points behind Burnley, so that could be a manageable still for United to pull back 2 wins, and if Burnley lose 2 games, then the title race is back on. Chelsea now surely are out a bit. Man City have certainly claimed 4th place and a Champions League spot for next season, and that's probably going to be the top 4 now. In what order, I don't know, but it's certainly going to be the top 4, whatever. Swansea in 5th at the moment. Spurs, Newcastle, Stoke, Liverpool, Southampton, Arsenal. They do bend to the bottom half now with that 1-1 draw. West Brom, Cardiff and Middlesbrough still there, but it's 1 point in it now at the bottom end of the table, and Everton will be anxiously looking over their shoulders more than most, because at the moment 12 draws out of 33 and 15 defeats is not a good run for Roberto Martinez's side. But it's cup matters that we concentrate on in our next game as we go to Wembley for the first time in career mode in this particular series, and it's a cup semi-final, believe it or not, and it's going to be Manchester City. It'll be a tough old game, but it will be a game that will surely will be an enjoyable one, and hopefully Burnley will get through to their FA Cup final. Just a quick word of whom we will be playing, because there has been a result already, but Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 1. That was the final score at Wembley yesterday, but we play Manchester City next, knowing that if we get through there, we play Villa. Till then, keep subscribing, and we'll see you for the Manchester City semi-final. Till then, take care.